Okay, my fingers are, let's say, a little bit warmer than before. Even though, it's sunny, it's still quite cold. Придности, тикархали. And yeah, in a lot of these, videos I'm speaking regarding Liza's eating, well, non-eating, her refusal to eat. It's apparently quite strange for this breed to be so, let's say, peculiar regarding eating. They have a healthy appetite. And there we see a doggo. We know this doggo, but sometimes we bark down. Leputița.
Aia leputița, nu.
Hvalarici. Deer. Okay, today we managed to we managed not to start an incident. Yeah. The last time we met Liza was they sniffed it. They were sniffing it at first, but then I don't know what happened. Liza was growling. So yeah, regarding food, yeah, with Liza we always had, some issue regarding food. When she was, I have already talked about this in the past, when she was puppy, she had, food aggression. So, if you were giving her some food, like in her bowl, you couldn't come near, she would growl, and of course, sometimes TJ would be fat at the same time near her, and there would be, not really fights, but a lot of growling. But yeah, and of course there was one time when she actually bit me, latched on my forearm and wouldn't let it go. So yeah, that was fun. But then we worked. So this was when she was 2-3 months old. We worked immediately after I got her. We basically noticed only the food aggression, when TJ would be near, not before. So basically in 1 week we resolved the problem. And that was it. And when she was, until let's say 1 or even her second birthday, she would, eat a lot, eat everything. There were instances when she would went to our garden and basically, ate all the cherry tomatoes and different, berries. And she would go in the basement and steal apples from the basement and ate those, And while we were outside walking, I still remember I couldn't. This was the time when we were also going to the dog school, and all the other dogs had problems with picking like bones and meat and treats from the floor, or for some strange reason also the paper tissue. Doggo having a little bit fun on the snow, little bit fetching the ball. So yeah, but let's say Liza's kryptonite at that point was eating cores of the discarded apples and yeah, mostly apples. Were there any did she ate? I cannot recall if she would also ate. No, they were mostly apples. Yeah, you know, discarded apples. People were eating them, throw them, you know, on the ground. And while we were on the walk, she would eat those. So that was her weakness. I know, and she would also, let's say, you would give her, you know, the core of cabbage. She would eat, you know, raw, and also carrots and so forth, also raw. Pretty greva Liza took it on. But then, you know, I think when she got about 2-3, she started becoming a lot fussier. Yeah, kuža gre. No, počasi. Počasi. Kuža prav prevelika si. Boji se te, Lizi. Greva midva tukaj, no? He's interested, but... Pridna, Lizi. Eko. Today we are going in the other direction. So yeah, and then she become very picky regarding her food, you know. The dog food wasn't good enough. You know, we had to make her, you know, stews or soups. But yeah, or like she wouldn't eat the same kind of food, you know, kibble or canned food or whatever, you know, several days in a row, which was always a problem, you know, when you buy, you know, 10-25 kilos back, and then she ate, you know, like 2-3 times. Then she was like, no, I don't want this anymore. I want more variety in my choice of food. But yeah. I also spoke, you know, with the vet. Well, basically every time when we go for a yearly checkup, you know, the main issue that I bring up is her non-eating. But you know, the vet isn't concerned, because you know every year she gains weight, not loses any weight. You know, she's healthy, her coat is okay, no, you know, food problems. Basically she's just, you know, picky. And as long this is, you know, regarding, well, you know, regarding her health, if this is, let's say, working, well, we have to just accept it. Pridna, Lulamo, pridna. Yeah, okay. And the mandatory treat for successfully completing the pee. And she spit it out. And we are once again. I was just telling how she's been eating the new treats, and now she's like, nope, I'm done with them. I'm done with them. And we aren't walking, not even 30 minutes. And she's like, in the previous video you could see how she was eagerly eating them, and now she's like, no, I'm done. But yeah, but this is also usual for her. Usually at the beginning of the walk she likes to have a lot of treats, and then about, you know, halfway point she's like, oh, I don't need any more. Oh, occupied birdhouse. Yeah. And today are even more people than yesterday, so our assumption regarding bad weather conditions affecting people's movement outside was apparently correct. So yeah. Okay, we will end on this point and continue perhaps later.